Alright, so this is me here, and the topic for today is kind of serious in light of what's been taking place, over the past couple weeks. And so basically, I just want to briefly touch, and I say briefly because if I fully try to touch on this subject, I'm going to be making multiple videos, and I don't have those kind of resources right now. So I want to briefly touch on what's been going on as far as with the killing of black young men and my take on it, really. And in order for, basically, if you don't know what's been going on, which you should, but if you don't, basically there have been white cops that have been killing black men and getting away with it, pretty much. By getting away, I mean they don't face jail time, or they don't, they aren't faced there, no major penalties are inflicted upon them. Mind you, a child, a black person, but a child at that has just been killed. And so my whole take on this, really, and it's sad, but I feel as though history is coming back in a full circle as far as how it was in the 60s and prior to the 60s. And now I feel like it's time for us to fight for our rights once again, and not let white people, or any mind you, any race, but white people feel as though they can walk all over us, and that we're just not worth having these positions and stuff. Because when you get down to it, the main issue that's motivating these black people, black young men, black people being killed is, racial. It's just racial. People want to say, well, it's inadequate training by the police and stuff. No, you have racist white cops that, that feel as though because they have the power, they can go ahead and just, kill black boys. And it is what it is. That's basically what it comes down to. And a lot of people, especially a lot of whites, are coming out of the woodwork saying that, well, why are you all, making such a big uproar and stuff like that? White people are being killed too on a daily basis. And I have to just look at them and just be like, are you serious? Like, are you honestly gonna sit up here and say that? Are you honestly gonna? And it's crazy because you have white people that actually believe that, they're going through a genocide, so to speak, and that, black people are just complaining too much. And what kills me is that, as far as complaining too much, we have every right to complain because you guys, people like you, not all white people, but people like, those that are saying this, feel as though it's okay to just kill off black people that, whenever you feel like it. And it's just like, no, we have every right to complain. And what kills me is when white folks sit up here and complain about, police, that will, how the outcome or how police treat them and stuff like that. Now, mind you, some policemen do go overboard. But you just got some white folks that just complain for no reason. And it's just like, yeah, you got the ticket and stuff like that, but did you die? Did you get gunned down? Did you, basically, did you lose your life? And that's where I feel this all needs to be addressed. It's like, you can't tell us not to complain when you're not the ones being gunned down, being shot, being killed just because of your skin color. And as far as the white genocide goes, you have a lot of whites that feel as though that eventually is going to get to a point where whites will not exist because of interracial marriages and all that, all that stuff. And my whole take on that is, it's just like those people really and truly need need to seek help, because it's just like, why would you why would you even think something like that and think that gives you the right to go about just killing people as you please? Like, no. Why would you think that? Like, that's crazy to me. And unfortunately, it's something that we as black people have to deal with now. We've had to deal with this for years, because you have white people, just a lot of white people just cannot get over the fact that we're just as qualified, if not more qualified, than you to have certain job positions, to be able to get a degree and all of that. And that's what, and that's just, we have every right just like they do. But you got a lot of white folks in America that feel as though, well, no, they shouldn't be allowed to do this, or they shouldn't be allowed to do that. And like, it's sad that you think that, but the fact of the matter is that we have just as much right as you do to do these things. We have just as much right as you do to have these jobs and stuff. And to stick it, and here's something to brighten up people's day. For those that think, well, it's all bad. Statistically speaking, based on the trend of growth that we're seeing within the minority spectrum, I'm not just talking about blacks, mainly Hispanics. By 2040, the minorities, which are Hispanics, will actually become the majority of the people, and whites will fall down to becoming the minority, so to speak, in America. So basically what this means is that there will be more Hispanics, and more of a population that at one point was a minority than there are of whites, which at this point are a majority. So, now me personally, I feel like that's something that we should definitely embrace, because blacks aren't the only people that have to go through this. A lot of white people, they just treat Hispanics just horribly, because they feel as though they make all sorts of jokes about them, being immigrants and stuff, that they weren't here first. Now, mind you, the Native Americans, which are also my people, we were here first, and then whites came along and decided, well, we're just going to take the land, and decided to, basically kill us off. Even though they weren't successful, there's a lot less of us now than there should be. But just keep that thought in mind, that, and maybe in what is it, 2014, so maybe in about 2.5 decades or so, there's gonna be more minorities than there are the majority, making basically the minorities will become the majority in America. And that means that, statistically speaking, and this may or may not happen, but you might have more minorities having the jobs that white people have, and all of all of that stuff. And so I feel as though there's really no reason why we can't. I think racism will always exist, but I feel as though we as a people need to, one, come together, and basically, because we have a lot of problems within our own groups. A lot of us have fallen victim to, our own prejudices, our own things that were set up by whites to keep us, split apart. And you can see this within the religion, black people, religion. You can see this in the workplace. I mean, it's just a lot of things that we ourselves have to work on, because, especially when it comes to, how open-minded or how closed-minded you are. We've got and there's a lot of older black people, but you got some young black people too. They become so closed-minded to ideas and stuff like that, to being taught that it's just like, once you become closed-minded to something, in a sense, you've lost the ability to, you've lost the ability to grow as a person and to learn. And a lot of people have lost that ability because they've become so closed-minded in their ideals and their thinking. And I see this all the time when it comes to religion aspect, when it comes to, a lot of black folks' takes on certain things like this, diseases and, education and, even interracial marriages, which is really sad when you have a lot of black parents that feel as though, well, no, my child is only deserving of, a black girl or a black boy, and it's just like, you know, I feel as though, yeah, we can criticize, whites all we want, but we also have to work, from the inside out. And I feel as though that's a process that's truly going to I feel like that's the biggest challenge. Because the best way to combat this whole issue is for young people to get their degrees, go to college, get your degree, get your education and stuff, and basically fill the jobs that these white people who are racist, who are, have this messed up mentality, feel as though they can, take those spots away from them so they have less power, and for every black person that goes to college and gets a degree and gets a job, that's one less spot that some racist white person can have, and you have to be willing to, put in the work, and I believe that we can do it, but it's going to take a lot of motivation. It's going to take a lot of, unfortunately, it's going to take a lot. I don't want to say it's going to take a lot more to have to happen before people really get this message, because what you don't want to happen, which could possibly happen, is you have a lot of young guys out here who feel as though, they feel like, well, forget this, I'm not about to become a target anymore, and they're just going to start retaliating. And if that happens, it's going to get a whole new degree of craziness is going to ensue. So I'm hoping we don't get to that point, and that we realize that we have to come together and let these, let the racist white folks know, anybody that's racist, let them know that we are not your stepping stone. You're not about to walk all over us. We're not your target, etc., because that's crazy that, this is happening, and you have people who still are not being reprimanded for this. Like, there are cops who have gunned down, you've gunned down a child, basically. You shoot him more than once, and you try to justify that, and it's like you were not indicted, you haven't faced any punishment. That's ridiculous to me. And it's just like, why is it that we have to go through this, and why is it you have white people that don't, why is it white people feel so, well, we're complaining too much? It's just like, no, we have every right to be upset because people like you are sitting up here and trying to kill us off or prevent us from getting to, reaching our full potential. And that's something that I'm not a fan of, and we definitely need to band together and put a stop to this. So let me know what you guys think in the comments section about basically what's been going on, and how you feel about the situation, because my take on it is that I feel as though we can overcome this. We've done it before, we can do it again, and we can rise above this, but it's going to take a lot of work, and we have to start working from the inside out. So let me know what you guys think about this, and I will most likely be bringing another video because it's getting close to Christmas time. And so try to have a good day, even though it's pretty cold outside, and I will catch you guys later.